Hello and good morning. You are watching our webinar, which is Start Your Morning with Scalping and Day Trading. With me, my name is Zoltan. I'm a trader, coach, mentor, and speaker for more than 2 decades, so more than, I don't know how many years. I'm a long-term investor, scalper, day trader, and economist. So we will try together, analyze charts, and maybe make some live trades or check today's patterns and trading setups. And I would like to ask you, can you see my screen and the risk warning? If yes, just consider that trading involves risk and are not suitable for all investors, and CFDs are complex instruments and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage, and 80% of retail investor accounts lose money when trading CFDs with this provider, and you should consider whether you understand how spread bets and CFDs work and whether you can afford to take high risk of losing money. So if you trade, remember, trade is risky. Okay, so I will switch my screen soon to MT4, that you can read it if you want. The most important, if you start to trade, to know what is trading psychology, what is risk and money management, how to use stop loss, how to close, how to open positions, and how to read and how to wait for the fundamental news and many other things. But now it's time to go to the charts. I would like to get the feedback if everything is okay with the screen or not, and if trading risks are visible or not. I will put it here. So let me start. We have got some open positions. I had a webinar half an hour ago, and I opened some positions. So first we start with DAX. In my opinion, all of you knows what is this chart pattern and what happened here. Can you tell me to the chat window what is this chart pattern? I set the chat window to be able to chat for all of you. So we have one DAX position. Let me close some part of this position. We have 0.70. It was a one lot, as I remember. Market execution, and I will close 0.40, a little bit more than half part of the existing position. This was DAX. So this is a double bottom, as some of you wrote to the chat window. We have half an hour to make live trades. So this was a double bottom. And here we had a nice downtrend. Then trend line is broken. If you switch to M5 chart, you will see that we are approaching to another trend line. And here we have a very beautiful double bottom. That was DAX. And let's check what kind of live trades we have here. For those clients who watched our previous webinars, they can send you a message if they watched this. These positions were opened some minutes ago. I'm afraid here that maybe there will be a double top. So that's why I will use a trailing stop on this position. Right click, trailing stop will be 2 points from the actual price. If you want to set 2 points trailing stop, we have to type here 200. Maybe it's too close. And let's check what will happen here. This stop loss is jumping here. If the stop loss will be activated, I will make $1.50 on this demo account. If this will be a double top, like an M, it was a good decision to use this stop loss at this place. In my opinion, we will say goodbye to Nasdaq position soon. So let's wait. If we are lucky, maybe I will set the trailing stop a little bit bigger. It will be 5 points. If we are lucky, we will be able to hold the position, but I'm afraid of this double top. Maybe it will be like an M. So that's why I realized it's better to use trailing stop. And that's all. Let's go to Dow Jones. Similar situation, trailing stop. This position is partially closed, but I will close more because I don't want to lose money. Right-click, modify or delete order, market execution, and I will close half of it. And if I will lose money, it will be minus $10. I can afford this. So, in my opinion, I will keep this position. And if I have to lose money, maybe it's better to check my other positions for the swing trade. Maybe I will open a blank chart. So here you can see that we have got a nice swing trade. And I think that maybe I will modify the stop loss to the break-even point of this position a little bit higher. We can check how much money we will make if the stop loss will be activated. The floating P&L of this position, look at the right side of the picture, it's $30. So I will close 0.20 because the stop loss is at the break-even point. If I keep the stop loss there, I would have closed much more percentage of the open positions. This is part of my money management. So before start trading, you can see that this is absolutely an uptrend with some correction and ranging period around this zone. And we have to be afraid because maybe this will be a double top and maybe we will approach the red trend line. But there is another scenario. If you draw a trend line from this local high to this area, if the price will remain above this blue descending trend line, maybe the long trend will continue and maybe the ranging period will be over. But remember, trading is risky. We don't know what will happen. So that's why I have to check what kind of positions I have and I have to make some partial closing. So we have DAX position. Look at this. And in my opinion, I will close. Let's switch to DAX. M5, maybe it's better to set the stop loss to the break-even point. And we have other positions also. Look at this. And I think that I will set the stop loss here. The other positions, these ones, stop loss is here. So the risk is not existing here, but I will close half part of the position because I want to make some demo account money and I try to avoid bigger risks. So this was DAX. Let's go back to M1 and we have to wait. Maybe we will approach again this trend line, but we have to wait because if I check my laptop, the time is around 10 past 8. So if I will be lucky, there is a big chance to reach the stop loss level. But if I am lucky, maybe we will break out this area and maybe we will go up. But remember, if the main trend is a downtrend, like it is now on a M1 chart, this double bottom may be a false one. That's why I used stop loss above the buying price. So this is my idea only, not a trading advice. You can see Nasdaq is here. We don't have this now. And we have Dow Jones. And I will keep this position like it is now. My target prices, but this is not advice, are the red horizontal trend lines, or maybe we will reach this level also. I will check what will happen if European markets will open, and maybe we will get back to these trades a little bit later. So let's check what kind of positions we have. First of all, you can click on symbol, and we have some Dow Jones positions. Stop loss is higher than the price. And here we have another. And in my opinion, there is not a big risk to get a stop loss today, but this is only opinion. And we have got position from this area. Let me close this position, and let's check what kind of trades we made today. In my opinion, we don't have too big risk. And let's go back to NASDAQ, choose hourly chart. You will see that we have got 0.8 in NASDAQ, and the stop loss is around 18 or 20 points, and the price is much higher. I will close half of it and keep the rest. So if I will get stop loss, that is not a big problem. And let's check what other instruments we have. For example, we have Euro HUF. I will keep this position, or maybe set the stop loss to the break-even point or somewhere here. There is not a big risk. So, in my opinion, this is a good decision. The trend is downtrend, but I'm afraid a little bit because we have false breakdown here. And maybe this will be a reverse head and shoulders. I'm not sure. I have got another open position opened higher, as you can see it here. Sometimes I have to move this blue line. And in my opinion, I will keep these positions. Let's check what we have. We have S&P 500. First daily chart. There is a potential double top here, so we have to be careful. But they are very small positions, so I don't care. Just remember, this is a ranging period on daily chart, and we are at the top of the range. I'm still optimistic, but it can happen that this resistance level is very strong, and maybe the price will go down. So this is my other scenario, but these are partially closed positions. Let's check what kind of instruments we have. I think we have shares also. First of all, Amazon daily chart. Everything is okay. I will keep the position this week. We have Citigroup. We have to be cautious because if this trend line will be broken, maybe I will close all or 2/3 of the open positions. I'm not sure, but this is long-term investing, so different than scalping and day trade. And we have Commerzbank. It's an amazing entry setup. I will keep this position or partially close, and we have Deutsche Bank also. Look at these double bottoms, and it was the previous one. Commerzbank double bottom, also W here. So no worries. Facebook. This is a very important trend line. If the chart is breaking this, maybe I will close this position. My original plan is to keep these shares for weeks or months or maybe years. But the other scenario, if we will see a bigger correction during maybe May or June, it's better to close some positions if they break the uptrend trend line. Will it be a double top or a false double top? For me, it seems to be a false double top because under the neckline, we have got a false breakout, and the uptrend trend line is a support. So no worries. We don't have to close this position now. Let's check Intel. Maybe it's time to close when the American markets will open, but the position is not too big. And we have Johnson & Johnson. In my opinion, similar situation. So this is a double top, but it can be a flag also, because there is false breakdown under the neckline of the double top. So no worries about this position. This is partially closed. Just keep the rest. And we have got Tesla. I had stop loss on Tesla, but now on 1 hour chart, we have a double bottom, W. So there is a chance to fill the gap. But remember, this is very risky trade because here we have a double top. If the double top is true, I will get a stop loss. So maybe it's better if the American markets will go up and Tesla will go up, maybe it's better to close partially or set the stop loss to the break-even point. I'm in this. So reverse head and shoulders or double top. This is the question. Or false double top. The main trend is bearish, but there is small chance to go up. So with partial closing, I tried to buy. Let's talk about other products. I have told you many times to partially close Bitcoin and stuff like that. This was the highest point on the chart. This is a false breakout. There is a big risk to go down. I'm not sure that it will happen, but actually I don't trade with Bitcoin on this demo account, and on real accounts, I never trade with Bitcoin. Sometimes it happens, but this is not my favorite product. Similar situation in Ethereum. So now these markets are not, they are still bullish maybe, but not the best time to buy now. And this is similar with Litecoin. If this will be a big double top, I wouldn't buy this. This is not advice. Let's check Brent. Downtrend was over, breakout pullback. If we are not so lucky, this support will keep the price and the price will go up. But to tell you the truth, it may be reverse head and shoulders. I would be really happy if I could buy fuel for a lower price, but I don't want to trade in long direction. But for me, maybe downtrend is over. So if you have a long position around this zone, set the stop loss somewhere here, because maybe this is a reversal. I'm not sure. Or my suggestion is not to trade it but now, because maybe it's not the best. Let's go back to DAX. Nothing happened here. Let's go back to NASDAQ. We don't have position. And the Dow Jones. I think that I will keep all of these positions, maybe a bad decision. And let's check what we had done today. Many trades. Yesterday was a better day. And let's choose this chart. I will delete everything. Set it to H4. And by the risk line here. And let's check some trades from the past. Yesterday, I opened the NASDAQ position. The reason of this position is simple. We have a nice trend line. If the trend line is approached by the chart, maybe it's a good decision to buy. This was a strange parallel trend channel. And look at this. It's not so parallel, but it's okay. It was working. False breakout, go down. False breakout, go down. And from this line to this line, it was working. But now we have false breakout. So maybe it's better to close partially these positions on M15. Let's check M5. As a day trader, scalper, or swing trader, I use M1, M5, M15, but I always consider hourly chart, 4 hours chart, and daily chart also. M5 is similar, and let's check M1. Sorry. Sometimes it happens that we have a nice downtrend. And if you try to draw some parallel trend lines, you can draw like this. Or, this is very important, for example, if you have a head and shoulders pattern, which is false now here, it's the shoulder, head, and the other shoulder. If it is false breakdown under the neckline, you can go long because the target zone is around the top of the head. And the most important thing that if you try to draw parallel trend lines, if the chart is approaching, maybe there is a chance to buy. Or you can wait for a pattern. This is W, double bottom. There are different approaches. Sometimes I get stop loss. Sometimes I re-enter the same direction. And look at the target zone was the neckline of this head and shoulders, or the neckline of this strange double top, or this is a bigger head and shoulders. So sometimes these trend lines are working. Why open long positions? Because this was a ranging period, and we approached the lower part of the range. Here we had a false breakdown. This was the breakout and the pullback for the level of the false breakdown. So try to use multi-time frame analysis. It's not so easy, but sometimes we must do this. Let's go to, this is zero game. DAX positions, okay, so let's go to Dow Jones. Here, earlier, we had a double bottom. And this was another level. When we approached this level, I tried to buy. If you switch to M15, you will see that if the market is going down, let me modify this here. If the market is going down, I always try to buy the lowest points of a trend channel. It's not so easy. If the market is shaking the tree, if the market is very volatile with many, many false breakouts, false breakdowns, look at this trend channel or false breakdown here. If you draw hundreds or thousands of trend lines in many, many years, you will realize some special trend lines, but it's not so easy. But we are here to practice. And normally, the market is not so complicated like it is now. But you can see, for example, here, many traders like double bottoms, but they are entering only here, the neckline breaking. In my opinion, it's too late. Sometimes I buy the highest point, the middle of the W, I will buy here, or I am buying the second deepest point of the double bottom. These can be better risk reward entry setups. Okay, let's check, for example, this DAX position. What happened here? You can see that this was the double bottom. Strange one. I entered here, and now I am without position. The main trend is still bearish. So the traders, I suggest you to wait. And remember, 2:33, 34 p.m., we will have bigger movements. I hope that you will have some questions. If not, we will finish this webinar. We made some smaller amount of money and try to avoid bigger trading mistakes. Yesterday, I traded with very big lot sizes, but if you are using very narrow stop losses, maybe you can avoid big risks. Try to trade with 0.1, 0.2, 20, half lot or something like this, and avoid big lots, like it is now. And try to open 500 euros demo account and 1,000 euros demo account, because there will be difference between trading on 100,000 or 500. And remember, always use stop loss or use partial closing. If you trade against the trend, this is very important, because scalpers are sometimes trading against the trend. And I hope, dear traders, that these kind of webinars will be useful for all of you. But remember, first, practice on demo account, no matter what kind of brokerage company you use. Maybe your favorite product will be not DAX or Dow Jones or Brent or gold or I don't know what. We are different traders, different type. So, in my opinion, let me remove this, check DAX again. In my opinion, sometimes we have to wait, but now I will make a last trade. And I will set the take profit, and we will see what will happen with this position. If the double button is still existing, we will approach the blue line, or maybe we will break it through, and maybe we will visit the breakdown level. If not, I will get a stop loss. If you made $90, you can afford to lose around, let me calculate it, $10 or something like this. So it doesn't matter. Let me switch to time. Floating positions are okay. We have another NASDAQ. Let's go to NASDAQ. And maybe I will calculate 84 is the opening price and 52 is the stop loss, $30 minus around. So I will close 2/3 of the position, or maybe half part is enough. And let's continue to make demo money. Close the half part of the position. Let me check it on M30 chart, what we made here. So now, in my opinion, this was a good decision to close it partially. I have $113. And if I will get a stop loss with DAX, I will lose 10. This is my money management, not a trading advice. Maybe I have got trading mistakes also. Almost all of us have. And let me make another mistake. For me, this take profit is too close. I set it higher. And we will see what will happen. No matter what will happen, I will lose $10. Or I will make much more. But this is not target zone, just for fun. I made this take profit level. Please do not consider it as trading advice. If this is a double top, I will lose money. This big one. If there is a false breakdown under the neckline, maybe this big double top will be false one. And if we will break this trend line, I will be okay. If not, I will lose some money. Now, almost all of my positions maybe they are safe. Stop losses are set. Partial closings are done. So I will switch off my laptop and check the charts at 2:30, 3:30, and so on. Let's go back to M1 before saying goodbye. And let's go back to Dow Jones before saying goodbye. Nasdaq. So in my opinion, nothing to do with this. Or if we are afraid of bigger risks, we can decide to make a partial closing here. I used to close 0.60 or 70 because this is the safest money management, but now I am optimistic I will close only 0.30. But remember, you should close more than 50% of the open positions. Let's say goodbye and let's check later. This is homework for you. If this position was okay or not, in my opinion, the best you can do to close 0.70 and no more risk. Goodbye.